Okay, so today's topic will actually apply not to only Patreon, but you can apply it to Kofi as well, or KoFi, or whatever you want to call it. Um, so it'll apply for both those websites. So when you're setting up a Kofi or a Patreon, we want to kind of go through the three W's, right? Who, what, when, where, why, right? So who? That's you. Your Patreon. What are you going to have on your Patreon? You know, are you an artist? So maybe you're going to have like free emotes. Yeah, the 5 W's. Don't worry about it. Um are you going to be a game designer and offer advice? Yeah, everything we're going to be talking about here is going to be for like the memberships as well. Um a lot of people, you know, the when do I start this? Me personally, I have two opinions. First opinion is right away. Second opinion I have, because I'm torn literally by the two, is when you have value or something to offer to whoever decides to join. Where? Okay, so again, I mentioned that this is for Patreon or Kofi. What I think you guys should do is both. Make a Patreon and a Kofi or Ko-Fi, whatever you want to call it. Why? Just like everything else in life, VTubers, content creators, audience members, we all have a preference to platforms, right? Some people have a preference to streaming on Twitch versus, you know, streaming on YouTube. Same thing kind of happens on sites like these. Some people have a preference to Patreon because they're subscribed to other people, right? And they rather just keep everything on just one website. Some people absolutely prefer Ko-fi because they think Patreon is hot garbage, right? So, in my personal opinion, you guys should really have both of those because at the end of the day, it takes you maybe what? An extra 30 seconds? If that? Maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes? You know, not much. And let's discuss really quickly the why. Why are you going to be making a Patreon and a Ko-fi? Well, a lot of people do it for one reason most of the time. Their reason is money. They want to make money. Of course, that's kind of why you're making the Patreon and Ko-fi or Ko-fi or whatever the hell we're going to call it. You want a little bit of dough out of it, right? Of course, I get it. I get it. It's not a bad reason, but one way you guys should think about it though, um, really think about it, is what can I offer to my members to make it worth for them, right? So, yes, you can have the goal for money, but really, if somebody's donating to you, subbing to you, doing a monthly membership, it should be, they should be getting something of value back. Okay. Does anybody have questions about the 5 W's that we went through? Right? You guys should obviously understand the who. If you don't, we got way more problems. What? That's kind of going to reflect whatever content you're making. We're actually going to like break this up also. I was thinking about it. I wasn't too sure. But I'm going to use 3 different examples. So we're going to use Starlight. And by no means, the people I'm using for examples, you guys don't have to do it. Like, this is just me just using examples. Starlight is an artist, right? So we're going to cover some of the art aspects of it. We're going to use Thorn Scale. He has a game dev. And the third one, I'm going to say, I don't know, who's in chat? I'm going to use Annie. She is a gamer that plays Star Stable at the current time of this video being made. So we're going to use these 3 examples right here throughout. And we're going to do a little bit of deep dive. KoFi feels like a one-off donation with no strings attached. You don't expect more content usually. Patreon, you expect more exclusive content that new creators can't really offer. Well, yeah. So KoFi definitely has a one-off donation thing, but big buts. You really need to ask yourself this: why would someone tip? Remember, tip, not donation. We don't want to use the D's. I should probably rephrase that a little bit better. We don't want to use donation ever. We don't want to ever want to say donation. Why would someone tip you on KoFi versus on YouTube or Twitch? Now, you guys are going to have a response. I'm going to predict it now because I get a better cut, right? Because on those platforms, you do get a better cut. It's not a 50-50. It's not a 70-30. All that fun jazz. But on those websites, you do get a better cut. But the user, for the most part, has to click away from your content on the main website to tip. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's not very good for their user experience. And at the end of the day, and I'm sorry to say, chat, the user doesn't care what kind of split you get. They may say, oh my God, yes, totally, you're right. Oh my God, queen, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, king, oh, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the user just wants to feel happy and proud that he's supporting his favorite, or she's supporting, or they are supporting their favorite creator, right? They don't care where they're doing it. For them, they're just putting in their credit card. They're doing the cha-ching thing, and you're getting something. Is it the desirable amount? No, but that's kind of why we're doing the KoFi, and this is why we're doing the Patreon, right? Because your viewers can get something out of it when you do it, when you do it. Okay, so let's just get rid of this, and let's talk about really quick, because we got all these pretty much down. Let's talk about your first tier. Wait, is it IR? IER? Tier. IER. Okay. Your first tier. So realistically, chat, how much is your guys' first tier? I would like to know.
A super chat? Well, thank
Oh,
you.
thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. Streamlabs donations are cool and all, but this button is right here. Exactly. The button's right in your face. It's easy. It's simple. So a lot of your guys' first tiers, I'm going to be very honest, very mean, but it's hot garbage. Right? A lot of you guys will do $10, right? Or whatever is to your equivalent currency. And this is a support me, but you get nothing out of it. Nothing. Not a thing. You do not go past go. You do not collect $200. You get nothing. So let's talk about tier 1. Tier 1, if you're going to have a general support tier, should be $1 to maximum $5. But you're like, okay, Senpai, but what do I include in tier 1 if I'm doing it for $1 or $5? Well, I'm glad you asked, little Timmy. Things you can and should include in your very first tier. Discord roles. Why? Why are we going to give somebody Discord roles in our cheapest tier? Now, tier 1, your first tier, right here, should be as easy as possible. This first tier should be no effort at all on your part. It should be just an automated thing right there, right? But it should be a Discord role, right? And somebody actually just said it. It gives them bragging rights that they are supporting you in the Discord. And honestly, the Discord role should always have a special color that stands out from everybody else. So if you guys load up my Discord right now, you'll see VTuber Senpai on the top right. You'll see my moderators. You'll see class ambassadors. And then you'll see my Patreon members. And then you'll see my YouTube supporters, right? But you should have something like this where it's a basic Discord role. They get bragging rights. But what else should you offer? That's super easy, very little to no thinking. Now, I'm not too sure if Discord actually offers this. This is just me spitballing an idea for you guys. But I'm hoping you guys think outside the box on this one, or even use this example if it is possible. But Patreon exclusive emotes. So exclusive emotes that they can use in your Discord. Right? That for $1 to $5 every day of the week, especially if they're active in your Discord, makes it very much worth it for them. So again, this is just an idea. I'm not 100% sure if you can actually do this in Discord. I'm pretty sure you can. I'll find out and I'll get back to you guys. Yeah, I believe you can limit emotes to certain roles. I believe you can. But this is just an example, right? You guys can maybe, instead of doing Patreon exclusive emotes, maybe, actually, no, you can do a Patreon exclusive emotes. You know how you can do it? Actually, no. Patreon exclusive something, right? Something basic here. So if you guys can figure out the emote thing, It could be an emote thing. Maybe it's special powers or titles. Who knows, right? Stuff like that. But I'll just leave that to Patreon exclusive something. You guys can figure out what, because for everybody it's going to be different, and it should be different. So first here, literally, this works for Starlight. This works for Thornscale. This works for Annie. John, not yet. Not yet. Okay. So, now that we did the first tier for little Timmy, let's do our second. Second tier. How much should the second tier cost? What do you guys think? You guys could do actually Patreon exclusive. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I just thought about what your guys' Patreon exclusive should be right here. I did. Little Timmy, just give me a second here for the second tier. I know what this is. I know what your guys' Patreon exclusive channels. You can actually make Discord channels that are exclusive for Patreon members, right? Where you can chat to your Patreon members in those channels, right? It'll be a lot less talkative. It's unique to them, and they can talk amongst each other, right? So you guys can literally do Patreon exclusive channels. I know that is a thing that you can lock up if you want to. Okay. So your first tier is the $1 to $5. I gave you guys what you should do for your in your first tiers, and this literally works for everybody. And again, everything I'm giving you guys right now is just examples. Thornscale, good idea. I'm going to say no. I'm going to be a little bit against that, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. When you guys are actually first starting out, you could do the whole I'll list your names at the end of my video type thing. But once you start getting more and more traction, it's going to be a lot of effort to add people to the list. Again, right here, your first tier should be as little effort as possible. All this stuff right here, both of these things are literally automated by Discord, by Patreon, right? Because Patreon connects with your Discord, so all the roles get assigned automatically. This is literally nothing you have to do. Second tier, that's probably when you should do stuff. And your second tier could be anywhere from $5, assuming your first tier isn't $5. And again, my personal opinion here is $10. Right? $5 to $10. What do we do for $5 or $10? I'm glad you asked, little Timmy. So let's use the artist example. Real quick here. What could an artist do for a $5 to $10 second tier? Well, maybe like, because we're talking about Starlight likes to make a lot of assets, right? Starlight. So she loves to make VTuber assets. Loves doing it. You know what you could do? And again, this works for Patreon or KoFi. 3 of the assets early access to 3 of the assets. So say if you're doing, let's say 3 out of the 10 assets, or 3 out of the 5, right? Or it could be 10 and it's half of them, 5 out of the 10 assets, right? And you list what the assets are. But it's early access. Why do I say early access? Because I know for a fact, for example, on KoFi, Starlight gives stuff away for free, right? As soon as the stuff is published, she does it most of the time for free on her KoFi. But if they could get access to the assets, or get access to the assets early, 1 week early, it gives them a sense of Urgency. Oh my God, I could be the first ones to have Starlight's assets on my stream because Starlight's a well-known artist and all that fun jazz. Everybody knows her. Everybody, I want her stuff on my stream before everybody else. So it gives them a sense of urgency. It really does. And they're not getting all the assets. They're just getting 5 out of 10. But don't worry, little Timmy. We can do 10 out of 10 in a little bit later. I'm going to save that for the thirds here. So they get early access of the assets. What's something else that we could offer? Before we even do the assets, you guys will know what you should do. Access to everything in previous tier. Always got to do access to everything in previous tier. Not everybody does this. This particular one right here, not everybody does this. So, and I don't understand why, but I'm a firm believer if they spend money on the second tier, they should get access to absolutely everything in the first tier. Because again, a lot of this stuff is first tier automated. You don't have to do anything. So, access to everything in the first tier. 5 out of 10 assets, early access, 1 week early. You could do 2 weeks early. You could do 3 weeks. You do 4 weeks. You do a month. Entirely up to you. But I would do 5 out of 10 assets 1 week early. Again, sense of urgency. What's something else that we can do? Don't worry, Annie. I'm getting to you. How many tiers? As many as you want. But I'm just going to give you guys some examples. So what's another thing that an artist, and Starlight, feel free to jump in on this one. Do you guys think an artist can give early that isn't super valuable? I know what you could do. Right? Exactly. Misty just said it. Free requests. So by giving them access in the second tier, they can give requests on what they can or what you can do in the future. Right? Now, of course, you're going to take requests from people in the public, but people that's actually spending money in your second tier, like honestly, if they're spending this money, chances are they actually want it. So you could put in requests. What's something else that they could do in the second tier? Sneak peeks, yes. Sneak peeks. So literally just like a screenshot of what you're doing. Right? That's it. You know, like Starlight will do, have a black and white. If you guys haven't seen Starlight's streams, first of all, go check them out. She's an amazing artist. But she has like line art, right? She could do a sneak peek screenshot of her line art, post it into the community. So they can have an idea of what's coming up weeks or a month later, right? I wouldn't make anything half off, but early access is key because, oh my God, video games do it all the time, chat, where they do early access if they go into particular tiers, and the higher the tier, the earlier they can get it. But we'll cover that in Thorn's section here. Okay, so that's the examples that we can do as an artist. Let's do the game dev example. Thorn scale. What could a game dev do? Right? Again, we could do sneak peeks. Well, obviously, they got to have that. A game dev could give access, absolutely, to a closed beta, right? They could totally be your beta testers. They could be your alpha testers. I'll do alpha/beta. Right? These they're paying you. They're paying you to be they're paying you to be your tester. Great example of this. Maybe you guys heard of this game. Maybe some of you did. Whoops. 7 Days to Die did this, where if you bought the game on their Patreon, you were their alpha and beta tester before the game even went on Steam. But what else could Thorn do? Right? Again, $1 to $5 tier, we don't want to do much. But $5 to $10. Well, they're making a little bit of investment. I know exactly what Thorn can do. I know exactly. Name or yeah, name as supporter in credits. Oh my god. Legit. Lewis spent $100 in 7 Days to Die. His name is in the credits of 7 Days to Die. But just and when the credits roll, right, there's going to be a little Patreon section there. But your Patreon supporter in the tier 2 and above, their names were going to be in the credits. And that right there gives people more incentive to support you. Because it's like, oh my god, I'm actually getting something really back from this. Even if the game is like very new or glitchy or whatever, I'm in Thornscale's first game. I was there since the beginning. I have proof. I'm the OG. Look me up in the credits, dude. I've been supporting him since day one. Oh my god, chat. People love that stuff. What if people have swear words in their name? Thorn could ask them to change it, do something more appropriate, but either way, that name is now ingrained in that particular game forever. And he doesn't have to do it for every single game past that, but the first one or two, yeah, their names are in the credits. Okay, so game dev wise, I don't think a game dev should do more than that in the second tier. All right, little Timmy, let's talk about Annie for a second. Annie loves Star Stable. Oh my god, does Annie love Star Stable? What could Annie do in the second tier? Again, chat, we don't want anything too crazy in the first tier. Again, has to be crazy simple. So I'm going to just copy and paste this. Access to literally everything that's in the first tier. And chat, this can, you guys can apply this to your games or whatever. But you know what Annie could provide that's super valuable to people, especially people that are new to the game that she's playing or new to the game that you're playing? Access to what is it called on YouTube? Private. What is it called, chat? Private. Oh my god, it just slipped my mind. Give me a second here. I gotta look it up. Private. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I was on a roll. I literally was on a roll. Sort of. You guys are close. Public, private, and what's the other one? Public, private. Private, nobody can see it. Public, everybody can see it. What's the other one in the middle where they got to have exclusive access? Unlisted. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Access to unlisted guides for leveling. Right? People love other people's opinions. Your opinion could be absolutely horse poop. It could be the worst opinions, but people, oh my god, if they're paying for your opinions, your opinion matters. Your opinion is the best thing they ever heard. They will take your opinion. They will go to war with it. They will fight for you. They will kill for you, probably. Your opinion is just absolutely amazing, right? And you don't always have to update your videos, right? It could be one every month, one every 2 months, right? But just a quick 5-minute video of an unlisted guides that you do once every month, not too bad. It's not too bad, right? They feel like at least at that point they're getting their money's worth, right? You could somebody just mentioned it as well, a PDF of best gear, in your opinion, to wear for leveling, right? When I was playing Star Stable, and Annie knows this more than anybody, I don't know what gear to wear. I am mismatched beyond belief. I really am. I don't wear the best gear sets. I have no idea what gear sets to wear. I don't know where to get these gear sets. But if Annie made a PDF file of saying you need XYZ gear, this is where you get it, this is how much it costs, and it's just like a PDF spreadsheet, doesn't always have to be updated, doesn't always have to be a new one every single month, right? But like a gear set would be so useful. And you guys could do something similar in your games. What gun should you use in Escape from Tarkov? What gun should you use in Apex Legends? What reticle should you use, right? What sensitivity should you use? So on and so forth. There's tons of examples that you guys could apply for your own, but these are some examples I'm just tossing out there. Okay. So, perfect. So we did Starlight, we've done Thornscale for second tier, and we've done Annie for third tier, and or for second tier. I wouldn't do any more than this second tier. Tier 3. What's some stuff that you guys seen in tier 3s that people include? What do you guys think should be included in tier 3? Or actually, before we discuss what goes in there, how much should it be? How much should tier 3 be? Tier 3 is going to be probably one of your more expensive tiers. I'm going to say, yeah, you guys are probably right, 15 to 20 bucks. I would actually probably say more 20 to 25. Right? Because this is going to be like a considerable jump. Right? It's going to be a considerable jump. Okay, so let's break it down. You don't think somebody's going to spend that much on you? Trust me, they will. Trust me, they will. Especially if they're a dedicated fan. Yeah, they're going to. So let's talk about our artist real quick. Our artist Starlight. What could Starlight offer at tier 3? I'm glad you asked, little Timmy. 10 out of 10. What do we call those? Assets. Early access to all assets. Honest to God. Early access to all the assets. All of them. What this should be is, if possible, 2 weeks early. 2 weeks early. The more early you can give them access, the better. If you do 3 weeks, do 3 weeks. If you do 4 weeks, do 4 weeks. But they get access to all this stuff at tier 3 early. Again, Starlight gives a lot of the stuff, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Starlight, a lot of the stuff for free when it releases, but you're creating that sense of, I need this right now before everybody else does. I want the attention. I want the advantage before anybody else. Do everything in previous tiers as well. It's hard to wrap my head around people just not paying and waiting for them to be free instead. You're going to have people that are going to wait, but you're going to have some diehard fans in the future. Chat, this is going to happen to all of you that want access to it right now. Literally, access to absolutely everything this very second. Okay, now, what else could you offer in this tier? Tier 3, again, 20 to 25 bucks. What else could you offer? Well, as an artist, maybe Starlight will sit in Discord for 2 hours a week in the Patreon exclusive channels and stream the next project. So see how here prior sneak peeks, right? This is just an image of the sneak peek. They're going to get an image of the sneak peek, but they're going to be able to see it streamed as well. And she doesn't have to do start to finish on absolutely everything. It could be like the final touches on the project, 2 hours worth of final touches, and that's it. FOMO is the most powerful and exclusive. It is powerful. Early access scratches it itch. Trust me. Yeah. Fear of missing out. Absolutely. Yeah. You guys think I'm crazy? I promise you, people want these things. So yeah, Starlight will stream in Discord for 2 hours a week and stream the next project. Okay. I said stream 2 times. Guys, don't at me. Okay. What else could Starlight do in tier 3? Sure. She could do uncut, unedited, which is the same thing. VOD access to the artwork being made. Now, currently she streams pretty much everything she does. I'm going to say probably slow down on streaming absolutely everything and make special things that aren't done on stream. Because honestly, when you're streaming and you're trying to multitask, it takes a lot longer. Where if you could just, sit down and just get it done, it's done a lot quicker. And you could give them the unlisted access onto the YouTube channel, right? And it's literally just a link that is auto sent to them every time that, or a link that's auto sent to them to the playlist, and that playlist can change literally every month if you guys wanted to. Okay, so for Starlight tier 3 wise, I wouldn't do any more than that. Thorn Scale or our game dev. When is a good time to start a Patreon? You can start day 1. I mentioned it up here. When I have 2 opinions on it, you can start right away, or when you have something of value or to offer. Okay. Game dev, $20. So this is Thorn Scale. What can Thorn Scale offer for $20, chat? Well, Thorn mentioned it. We should do this right here. And I hope some of you guys are taking notes, because this is stuff, like I promise you, people want. But yeah, so what Thorn early access key. When full game comes out, what else could Thorn do? You know what Thorn could do? You know what people would do if they spent $20? And I promise Thorn would get a lot of tier 3s, especially when he builds up his audience base. People will spend more $20 than the previous tiers if he did this one thing. One thing. Not only would their names be in the credit, but they could be a random NPC walking around. Doesn't even have to be interactable. They don't have to have any lines whatsoever. Nothing. It'd just be a random NPC standing on the side of the road with that person's username or gamer tag right on them when they go up to them. Wouldn't that be dope? To be playing a game from a dev that you love, from a game series that you love, just have a random NPC. Chat, that is super easy, just code that you got to do. Yeah, random store clerk, sure, $20. And again, chat, I'm talking like starting out. So this is like, as you guys get bigger and so on and so forth, you're going to change your tiers, you're going to change your rewards and so on and so forth. I'm talking about everybody at the current levels, what you guys could offer at your current sizes. Yeah, with its in-game founder list in every relay. Sure, yeah, exactly, Toby Arts. Right? You guys could have a, yeah, like I know Star Trek Online kind of has something like this, but a board in a town with people's names on it. A dedication plaque. Dedication. I feel like I spelled plaque right? Did I say plaque right? Spell it right? Dedication. Yeah, I did. Sweet. Okay, awesome. So, a dedication plaque in the middle of a town, right? And you don't have to do all these things, but these are just suggestions, right? You amped it up a little bit. What Thorn could also do in tier 3, kind of like how Starlight did unlisted video access, Thorn could do early access, and he could actually do this in tier 2 or tier 3, but early access to his dev vlogs that he does, right? 1 week prior to release. That would be dope. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, that would be kind of like the early access key when the game first comes out, right? And they could stream it early. That's just some examples. Okay. So we got some stuff for Starlight. We got some stuff for Thornscale. Let's talk about Annie. So our star stable expert, Annie. What could Annie do in tier 3? Does Annie know what Annie could do in tier 3? Annie, what would you do for $20 to $25 a month? What could Annie do? A video game content creator, what could Annie do for tier 3? I'm going to slowly type it out, and maybe somebody will get it. Right? If you guys had an exclusive club, and I'm not saying your main club, Annie. I'm saying that on an alt account, you have an exclusive club. Right? And again, this is just examples. You guys don't have to do this, right? But a club that is for Annie people. Guess who? Guys, somebody actually did something similar to this as a Patreon reward before they made it public to everybody. And they're actually well known, or they used to be very well known in the sphere. But the virtual reality show, as a Patreon reward, you could join their VR chat group. Now it's open to absolutely everybody because she moved on past that. But you guys could do something like that where it's exclusive access to your guild and all that fun stuff. And but what does that do for them? What else does that do for them? Right? Well, when you're streaming, they have the chance to be on your stream. Kind of like Asmongold, right? And truly, chat, like a game like Star Stable, for example, has very, 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 very good filters on to like really not get banned. There's no voice chat or anything like that in the game itself. So there isn't really any risk of people swearing or saying something racist or anything horrible like that. Games like that are pretty good. But yeah, sure, on your second account, for sure. But when you're streaming on your second account, they have the opportunity to do challenges with you, do raids with you. Again, I'm just trying to apply the gamer mindset to this particular one for just absolutely everybody. But they have that ability to do that. Or what you could do is they play with you on stream, no voice, right? No Discord, nothing like that. Raids in SSO. Well, SSO wise, you guys could do oh my god, what's the name of that thing where everybody does all the patterns together and events? Yeah, events, but no, the dressage. Yeah. The dressages. You guys could do that together, right? As a group on stream. That would be your equivalent. But play with you on stream. So I know Annie likes to play Valorant sometimes. Maybe they could join your Valorant lobby for 20, 25 bucks. People do that. People do that all the time. Right? Again, they get access to absolutely everything in the previous tiers. And that's pretty good stuff right there. What else could they get? Early access to your newest videos before they come out. Again, 1 week. People love that, chat. People absolutely love that crap. Absolutely love that. So we've done tier 1, we've done tier 2, we've done tier 3. Should we do a tier 4 for everybody? And again, chat, this is, this isn't concrete, like, oh my god, you have to do all these exactly. You guys could add more, you could take stuff away, you could change some things up, entirely up to you. We'll do a quick tier 4, just to like spitball ideas. Tier 4, how much was tier 3? 25 to 50? Tier 4, 50 bucks. We're gonna amp it. 50 buckaroos. What can they get for 50 buckaroos, chat? 50 buckaroos. So let's do Starlight. $50 is quite a bit. I wouldn't do merch because merch comes out of your pocket and merch can be super expensive. But what you guys can do for $50, one-on-one for Starlight. This is just an example. Again, you don't have to do it. One-on-one Discord call, giving advice on your art and helping you out for 2 hours a month. $25 an hour. Pretty good money right there. In some states, that's really good money. That's just an example. Right? Sure, art lessons. Again, everything in the previous tier, obviously. You could give, and this is not something you're sinking more than 2 hours in, right? And you guys can limit to how many people go to tier 4. So you can have a limit of like six people, right? 6 times 2, 12 hours a month is all you got to spend talking to people in your Discord one-on-one, right? Yeah, for sure. Starlight could do 10% off, or 20%, or 30%, or 40%, or 50% off on older or newer, entirely up to you, assets that come out, right? so many different examples that Starlight could do for $50. I think that's fairly fair. I think that's fairly good right there for the tier 4. And I'm going to show you guys another example of somebody that's actually like my spirit animal. As an example later on. What could Thornscale do? What could our resident game dev do? Good morning, Ash. At $50, any interactable NPCs that talk to you, so on and so forth, name the NPC. Name the interactable after that person. Right? Sure. Maybe a VA role. Right? You can options are limitless. Or you could name a village after that person. You could name an area after that person. You can name a story after that person, right? Because $50 is a decent amount on a brand new game dev, right? Again, it doesn't, you don't have to do this. It doesn't have to be, or yeah, sure, a supporter skin. That's super exclusive, right? Again, spitballing ideas. You don't have to do it, but VA probably would take a lot of work. Let's be honest, but this doesn't. These ones here don't take too much work. Okay, so tier 4 artist we got covered. Game dev we kind of got covered. All right, what does Annie do? What could Annie do? Yeah, sure. Yeah. A unique pet. That would be dope. For a $50 reward, an exclusive pet. Oh my god. Tier 4 for Annie. So they got access to absolutely everything else prior. Join a guild / club when you're streaming, playing with you on stream. No voice, no Discord. Play with you on stream with voice in Discord. Right? From one tier to another, we amped it up. Now they can actually talk. And you know what? If they say something stupid on stream, you ban them right away. And guess what? You get $50. And this is not like, oh, I'm going to stream with you absolutely every single time. This one, and just like the one prior, put a limit on it, right? Maybe 5 streams. Maybe 1 stream. Maybe 2 streams, right? It doesn't have to be a whole lot, chat. Because people are getting something out of this. They're getting a connection with their favorite streamer. And this is things that you guys got to think about, like really think about, because that's why people are doing this. It's because they want to support their favorite streamer, their favorite content creator or builder, or whatever the hell you are. They want to have a connection with you somehow. Right? So, what else could Annie do? I'm glad you asked, little Tammy. Annie could do or thing kind of like how we talked about the where is it? Join your guild / club. Promote to an officer. Right? If somebody's spending $50, chances are they're not going to like screw around with your stuff. If they're spending $50, chances are they're probably an adult and not a kid stealing their mom's credit card. Right? Sure, a club leader or I don't know, a first officer. I'm thinking of Star Trek right now. But something like that. Again, you don't have to do it. But like maybe a dressage leader. Yeah, sure. A special rank in Discord. You could also do one-on-one calls giving advice on how to level, how to start streaming Star Stable Online, right? That's just some examples. People will rarely drop big bills just to tease you. Yeah. Like, a lot of trolls won't do that. Yeah, sure. Coaching. Oh my God. Honestly, I would spend $50 to Annie for proper coaching on how to play SSO properly. Like, I literally would. Because I'm trash at the game. I'm a solo player. I don't know how to do things properly in the game. So this would be a very good thing for me to just have a one-on-one coaching. 2 hours per month. Reaction and let's plays. Cosmos, you could do early access to your videos. Early, they could give you advice. They could give you tips on the next video idea. There's like so many things. Again, this is just an example. You guys could apply whatever I type here to other games very easily, right? And I'm not saying you have to do this with Star Stable, Annie. This could be whatever game you decide to do in the future. Right now, it could start off with Star Stable, and it could be a shift a month down the road to whatever other game. And chat, everything that we have here is kind of like the starter stuff. A lot of this stuff will adapt and change over time. So your Patreon, your Ko-fi isn't going to be this for like 2-3 years. You can change it every year to give it like, you know, change prices. You could raise the prices. You could lower the prices. You could change the rewards, add rewards, take away rewards. You can make this ever changing. It doesn't have to be this forever. Okay. Starlight asked a good question. I want to touch up on Starlight's question here. I'm going to copy it and paste it. How do you handle things people pay monthly for, but with limits? What do you mean by that? I think I know what you mean by that, but I want to make sure I know what you're talking about before we dive into it. Are you talking about like assets, like giving them the assets, or because one thing I can tell you guys, what you can do, and this is what happens for me. Maybe I can show you guys this. I think I can show you guys this. I don't think Mr. Badley would care too much. But we'll use Mr. Badley. So this is the gentleman I buy my R2-D2 rewards off, or plans off. And he has membership, and it's a link to a Dropbox. And every month, this will change. And the same thing here with Galactic Armory. He will have a link to his Dropbox. I recently unsubscribed from him. But he has a link to his Dropbox with different folders in the Dropbox, and the month prior stuff, he just deletes. Right? So you can have different folders in that Dropbox link. And if they pay for that, they get access to it. If they don't get access to it. You guys can make a new Dropbox links for every single month if you wish to do so. It takes 2 seconds. It doesn't take a lot of effort. In my case, it'd be like, what do I do if someone paid $20 every month, but I only have one game coming to early access? Okay, great question, little Thorny. I'm glad you asked that. So this is a one-time redeem, right? Because you can set Patreon, at the very least. I'm not too sure about KoFi, but it's a one-time redeem, right? Redeeming the reward. And anything else on top will be support to you. How does Senpai know this? Does anybody know how Senpai knows this? Well, I'm glad you asked, little Timmy. I'm going to show you how Senpai knows this.
Welcome.
This is VTuber Senpai's Patreon. These are the mock Niji Sanji forms. I spelled audition wrong. Oh my god, that looks so freaking professional. Does it not, chat? Dear Lord, thank God that was only $3. But for the most part, you know, content reviews, 4 out of 2. So what I did with these particular people is I fulfilled the commitment, but they kept their Patreon rolling because they wanted to support me. So, and both of these, well, this one is not both. This one I believe is an ongoing. This one right here is just is a one-off. They could submit their stuff in the future again if they really want to. Entirely up to them. I gotta really fix this because this is driving me bonkers. I can't believe I spelled that wrong. But like legitimately, where you coach someone on stream in a call, yeah, I could do that too. That'd be actually interesting. But the rewards have been given out. Everything that I need to do has been done. They're just staying on because they just want to give support and love. And that is perfectly okay. That is their decision to do. If I go to Mr. Badley, I got all the files I needed from him. But because I felt like I got such a good value, I'm going to keep it going for probably a year or two, because he might drop an update here and there, that maybe a new folder or a new file a year down the road. But I'm just here just to keep supporting him, and it's not costing me much at all, right? Galactic Armory, I got my Wrecker armor files that I needed off him, and I stayed as a Patreon member for months and months and months and months afterwards. Right? He's given out so much new files. I haven't touched any of the new files. I don't care about any of the new files, except for the Bo-Katan helmet, which I printed out and sanded, and I'm about to paint this weekend. Other than that, I didn't touch anything else because I don't care about the other stuff. I'm just doing it to support him. I only did it to support him. So that's kind of the thing that you guys are going to be facing. You don't always have to give endless rewards to people. What you should do, realistically, is put a disclaimer at the bottom, right? Disclaimer, one-time reward. Make sure you cancel once done. I spelled cancel wrong. I know I spelled it wrong. Don't at me. I spelled done wrong. I'm such a ditz. Gotta close my Discord. Sorry. I pulled up the wrong screen. 1L, yes, thank you. So like legit chat, that's all you gotta do. Just a small disclaimer, you're done. I really gotta update our software. When I'm typing fast and when I'm thinking like a mile a minute, spelling is the last thing I worry about or care about. But a lot of this stuff, chat, that I mentioned here, some of these stuff is new things every month. So very rarely are you guys going to have to worry about like a one-time delivery and then move on. If there is a one-time delivery, again, send them the item. If they stay subbed or continue doing it, just take it as support, right? Especially if you have a disclaimer, one-time reward, make sure you cancel. A lot of streamers do that. We'll have that little snippet at the bottom. I should really do that. Actually, now that Annie brings that up, I should really do that. Where I have a Patreon reward where I share all my notes that I do on stream with you guys. It's actually kind of smart. Yeah, thank you. I want to show you guys my spirit animal in human form. The man that I really look up to. And I would absolutely love if he decided to adopt me. The one, the only, and thank God he'll never see this stream, Devin Nash. So, Devin Nash has different tiers, as we see. So, Devin Nash's supporter tier. This tier unlocks straight to Patreon exclusive videos. I will post insight on business, content creation, lifestyle development, and marketing that doesn't go get to YouTube. So this is stuff that he doesn't post on his YouTube channel, stuff that he's doing already, probably in his Discord, and he just releases it. So it's exclusive video access, over 80 videos. So, and he's adding it to it every week. So it's an unlisted playlist on YouTube, probably. Exclusive Discord supporter chat. Previously subscriber chat. So it's separate Patreon channels for people to go into. He has his business mogul, which is his probably considered mid-tier, or one of these is mid-tier. I'm going to say this one's probably mid-tier. In this tier, we'll do a Discord stage and Google Hangout sessions on invite for members. You also get access to record mastermind sessions and to post everything I read, which is a unique insight into the world of marketing at large, right? So again, look here, chat, access to previous tiers. So if you get access to this tier, you get access to absolutely everything in the previous tier. Access to Discord stage. So Discord stage is just like live streaming, right? Where it's literally this right now. What we're doing on YouTube and what you do on Twitch, just in Discord. Google Hangout live calls with big business. Access to what I read. Access to pre-recorded live mastermind sessions held bi-weekly, right? You have some newsletters, chat community, Patreon only video, right? Business Tycoon. This tier goals to create a focused chat of entrepreneurs interested in bettering themselves. In addition to everything you get from previous tier, this tier is for supporters who want to create value across multiple industries, right? So on and so forth. He even has a $142 one. And look, chat, 21 of 30 remaining. People are spending $142 Canadian, which is a lot, to this. Take that in right there. What Devin is offering here, right? Pretty in depth. Not as in depth as you guys, because you guys are first starting out. Wouldn't that be nice to come into your bank account every single night? Or not night, but month? Pretty good, right? Really good, I would say. Now, this is one thing that I think you guys should do. Whether you guys are on Patreon, KoFi, so on and so forth. Devin does it great. About Devin Nash. So Annie, Thorn, Starlight, whoever's watching me right now, no matter what platform you guys are on, you should have a filled out about me giving the reader an insight to you, giving a reason to want to hit these buttons, to want to connect with you, to invest into you, right? And to get rewards out of it, right? Hi, I'm Devin Nash. Hey, Devin. I'm deeply passionate about the digital media space and the power it has to transform lives. The creator economy has the ability to create massive positive or negative change. There's never been a more important time to understand the mechanisms behind the industry than now. I create my content to give insight into new media world that you can't get access anywhere else. Whether it's live media like Twitch, VODs like YouTube, or business creators, or business for creators or entrepreneurs, I want to make a home for people fascinated in this industry. So you guys could do something like this, right? Give a blurb about who you are, what you're doing, what you're trying to do, right? Thornscale could be, hi, I'm Thornscale. I'm deeply passionate about game design and development, and the power it has to transform lives, right? And then give like a detailed report of his passions, what his goals are, what the end result that he wants to get. No, John, I would probably say just this on Patreon and KoFi, right? This is like kind of like icing on top of trying to get them to just hit the button. And you guys could do goals, right? He has a live stream goal. You guys could, Thornscale, for example, could have a goal for equipment to make a new game, or fully fund a game, right? Stuff like that could be done. Starlight could have things where it could fully fund assets for the next 2-3 months, or hire additional staff to assist her on assets that she doesn't have time to get to. Things like that. So you guys can have good goals. But this is something I would suggest you guys take a look at. I'm going to link this for you guys. Take a look at Devin's thing and think about it. What can I do on my Patreon, on my KoFi, to make it apply to me? Okay. So we've done the whole KoFi Patreon thing. Do we got questions? Is KoFi and Patreon something to look into later? I would probably look into it day one. One thing I'm wondering, since Annie asked too, what do you do with balancing memberships? Example, you both have YouTube members and Patreon on Twitch. YouTube has different. Okay. So, YouTube members, Twitch subs, right? And then you got your KoFi / Patreon. How do you balance? Great question. You got to think about it this way. When people are donating on these two, or joining memberships and so on and so forth, what are these websites giving them? I should copy your question up here, so I don't always have to keep scrolling. But what are these websites giving to the person that spends the $5 a month? Well, let's talk about Twitch subs. What do Twitch subs get, chat? Realistically, at the end of the day, what do they get? What are the rewards? They know when you stream, so they get no ads. We're going to put a little thing there because that's going to change, according to Twitch. Emotes. Okay. That's it, right? Faster point accumulation, a badge, maybe. Okay, badge. Sure. Maybe a Discord role. Sure. Okay. What do YouTube members get? Same thing. Where does this exist? Where do these exclusively exist for the most part, except for the Discord roles? More times than not, they are only on those platforms. On their, yeah, exactly, on their respective platforms. To me, personally, and this is how I think about it, chat. This is just how I think about it. If you're not streaming, if you're not live on Twitch, right, they're not getting anything of value. So if you stream 6 hours or 12 hours a month, the other hours, or sorry, 12 hours a week, the other hours in the week, none of this, none of these three at the very least, mean absolutely anything. It doesn't do anything for them. You're not live. You're not doing anything. Exact same thing here. I'll get to that in a second, Annie. I'll get to that in a second. Exact same thing here. When you're not live, for the most part, none of these matter at all. KoFi and Patreon. Right? Again, depending what you guys do, you could give them, exclusive access to many things. For example, we go all the way back to tier 2. So let's say tier 1 is just $1. Tier 2 is $5. Tier 2, at least for Starlight, they at the very least get assets that they can use on their streams whenever they want. They can do it with their Discord calls if they wished. If we can figure out the emote thing, which I'm pretty sure is a possibility and a thing that you can do, they get to use those, right? They get some sneak peeks from you. They get more of a value from the website Patreon or KoFi than they do on Twitch. Where, again, this is what they get standard, which they can't use all the time. Other things up here, they can use more often and is more meaningful to them in the long run. But on YouTube, you can list more rewards than built-in ones. So why would I have coaching on KoFi and not a membership? Because coaching on KoFi gives you more of a connection to the viewer than them just being a random member. Right? What you're doing here is giving them something that most people won't give them. Right? 99% of Twitch and YouTube give out the same things as everyone else. Emotes, badges, Discord role. Right? And a lot of people aren't even doing the Discord role. Actually, very rarely are people even doing the Discord role on YouTube and Twitch subscriptions. But 99% of Twitch is doing that. Don't you want to be the 1% that stands out and gives rewards? that aren't only locked into the one platform. So no matter if you're alive or not alive, sorry. Oh, because if you're dead, you couldn't do anything. If you are alive or offline, they can still get access to the rewards and use the rewards. If anything, the Twitch and YouTube subs and memberships is the true for supporting and getting not much in reward thing. Yeah, again, chat, what I'm listing here are just examples. You guys could add way more into your rewards that you want, right? At the tier 5 or tier 2, you guys can add way more stuff, but you got to add value to it, right? So when they spend the $5, okay, I feel like I got $5 worth out of that. When you spend a sub on Twitch, at least this is just me, my personal feeling. When I buy a sub on Twitch, I don't feel like I'm getting $5 worth of value. That's me personally. So my YouTube channel is in Swedish, but KoFi is in English because I would sell. That's for a reshade. So my membership on KoFi would be English or in Swedish. Who's your main audience? If your main audience is Swedish, I would keep it Swedish. Because it wouldn't make sense for it to be English if the vast majority of your audience is Swedish. Right? Again, chat, what you want to do, and the reason why you guys want to have a KoFi over or a Patreon over Twitch and YouTube is, truthfully, you get more control over people's support, and like I for Patreon, I can get paid even if there's like $5 in the account. I don't know how it is for KoFi. So if someone can let me know, but I can